it was Adams who stood up and stood out for me.
He's a brilliant player.
His leadership quality was fantastic.
People often talk about club partnerships. Ream and Robinson for Fulham are used to playing next to each other, of course, and have been very, very good. And I'm delighted for people to recognise Ream because he is in his mid-30s now.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Pep Guardiola is very liberal with his compliments, but he did say
not liberal. He's just. It's
over the top.
impossible to know what his criteria is. It's very specific, but in a way that only he understands.
Yeah, well, he did say to Tim Ream recently, if you were a bit younger, then you wouldn't be you would be playing for me. But Ream he's a quality player. I mean, I know Luke has said on the podcast before, oh well, there's this thing at Fulham whenever he hoofs the ball long, everyone shouts Ream. No, when he does something good like a tackle or something, they shout Ream. He never hoofs the ball because when Luke and I know you're listening, Luke Moore, when we went to watch them against Manchester United, which regrettably Manchester United, stole a victory. I said, right, let's count how many times Ream hoofs the ball forward. Not once. It's quite a cultured player. Bearing in mind his footballing culture is in the US, where they playing out from the back is a fairly newish kind of idea, like in this country as well, and a lot of other countries. His footballing CV is not like massively impressive in terms of playing cultured football and all that kind of stuff. He's playing at Fulham, blah, 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 blah. He's in his mid-30s, and yet look at him.
Yeah, he's
living his best life, David.
He's definitely not a hoofer. He's a pure stopper centre-back.
Yeah.
Interceptions, tackles, headers away. Yeah, he's not a hoofer at all. And yeah, he was magnificent. And so are the midfield. I think they've got, US has got the next World Cup co-hosting that.
Yeah.
And you look at that young midfield in Adams, McKennie, Musa.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be the midfield three unless somebody comes out of nowhere, potentially Gio Reyna again. But they are all young players.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Pulisic isn't an old head yet by any stretch. You got Timothy Weah in there as well. There's some real talent already.
And that's good for Pulisic, because it takes the pressure from him. Because I think a lot of the time, this whole Captain America vibe, he's got the number 10 shirt.
Yeah.
He actually
he rises to it though.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was that impressive last night. He put himself on the line for the goal, which was incredible. And obviously, everybody loves an heroic act like that.
After you get whacked like that, you've not got much to give after.
Of course, but it was Adams who stood up and stood out for me.
He's a brilliant player.
His leadership quality was fantastic. And again, I brought it up on the other podcast when we were talking about the US, but the European influence, playing in Europe is just there.
Yeah.
How to read games, how to manage games, it was all there from those players, especially Adams.
Yeah,
indeed. It's going to be a fascinating game against the Dutch. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, but the US, they're looking good. And also, they're not conceding goals. I've only conceded one, and it was a penalty. And it was a bit of a rush of blood from Zimmerman.
And Ream really built him out, mind. That's
Yeah.
But you could see Zimmerman just getting a bit more confident, and Ream was really, really just puffing him up, trying to get him in the mood.
That's right.
And he reacted to that really, really well, to be fair.